Hello, math students. Welcome back to Module 4, Expressions and Equations. This lesson is called Multi-Step Problems, All Operations. Our goal for today we will practice finding the solution to multi-step problems. The question that I want you to be thinking about in this lesson is, how do you keep track of all of the steps when trying to find the solution to multi-step problems? So the best way to practice finding the solution for multi-step problems is to try it with a problem. So I have a problem for you under the Let's Find Out section. A pet store owner, Brian, needs to determine how much food he needs to feed the animals. Brian knows that he needs to order the same amount of bird food as hamster food. He needs 4 times as much dog food as bird food, and he needs half of the amount of cat food as dog food. If Brian orders 600 packages of animal food, how much dog food does he buy? Okay, so basically in the first read, we're learning about a pet store owner that is trying to buy food for all of his pets. So on the second time that we read it, I'm looking for quantities. A pet store owner, Brian, needs to determine how much food he needs to buy for his animals. Brian knows that he needs to order the same amount of bird food as hamster food, okay? He needs 4 times as much dog food as bird food, okay? And he needs half the amount of cat food as dog food, okay? If Brian orders 600 packages of animal food, how much dog food does he buy? Okay, so we underlined some quantities, and now we're looking for the third read, what we're supposed to do. A pet store owner, Brian, needs to determine how much food he needs to feed the animals. Brian knows that he needs to order the same amount of bird food as hamster food. He needs 4 times as much dog food as bird food. He needs half of the amount of cat food as dog food. If Brian orders 600 packages of animal food, how much dog food does he need to buy? So we're looking for dog food. Okay, so now what I want to do is I kind of want to get some information written down so that I understand it. The same amount of bird food as hamster food. So I'm going to say that the bird food is equal to the hamster food. Okay. And then it says that he needs 4 times as much dog food as bird food. So I would say that dog food is equal to 4 times bird food. Okay, so that's not too bad. He needs half the amount of cat food as dog food. So I would say that cat equals 4 times the bird food times 1/2, because I only need half of what he needs for the dog, okay? If Brian orders 600 packages of animal food, how much dog food does he buy? Okay, so using tapes, it's really helpful to see. We know that the entire amount of food that he buys is 600, okay? And then we know that out of those 600 packages of animal food that we're really looking for dog food. And we know that cat food is half that of dog food, and we know that dog food is 4 times the bird food. And then we know that the bird food is the same amount as the hamster food. So basically, what we could say, because the bird and the hamster food is exactly the same, that if we're buying hamster food and bird food, we know that there are 2 of them. So we know that basically there are 2 of the bird food because the bird food and the hamster food are together. And so then what we have is the dog is equal to 4 of the bird's food. And then we know that the cat is equal to half of the dog food. Okay, so I'm trying to keep all of this straight, and we're looking at this as tapes. So if we are talking about 4 birds, right, because that's what 4 bird food packages equals the dog, and then half of that equals the cat, so that would be 2 of the bird food packages. So basically, if we're looking at it logically, we know that the cat is equal to 2 bird food packages, right? We know that the dog food is 4 bird food packages, and then we know that we need 2 for both the bird and the hamster, right? Because they equal the exact same amount. And so there's going to be 2 of those. So this is actually equal to 2 of the bird food amounts, okay? So now what I'm seeing is we have 2 of the birds, right? So let's do this. We're going to say 2 of the birds. And what this equals right here is bird and hamster, right? Because that covers those guys. And then we need 4 birds. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That right there equals the dog food, right? And then it says for the cat food, we need half of that amount. So that right there has to equal cat. Okay, and then we know that all of this together equals the total amount of packages that he ordered. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 sections, and all 8 sections are supposed to be equal to 600. So we all know that you are supposed to do 600 divided by 8 because that's how many we need. So 8 goes into 6, 0. 8 goes into 67 times, which is 56. And then we subtract that off and we get 40. And so we know that 8 goes into 45 times. So now I know that there are 75 packages of bird, 75 packages of hamster, 75, 75, 75, 75 for the dog, and then 75 and 75 for the cat. Okay, so then we just have to label out what we have. So there are 75 packages for the bird. We have 75 packages for the hamsters, which it didn't ask us to do all of this, but this logically makes sense. And then for the dog, we do 75 times 4, which gives us 300 packages for the dogs, and then we have to do cat is half of that, so that would be 75 times 2. So we get 150. So that would be 150 packages of cat food. Okay, and so we figured out how much or how many packages of dog food we need, which was 300, right? So we answered the question of what they asked us to do. And so basically the best thing that I can say for solving multi-step problems with all operations is just incorporating your tools that you've been learning with tapes and with equations and just truly trying to write it all out so it makes sense in your mind. How do you keep track of all of the steps when trying to find the solution to a multi-step problem? The answer to that is definitely by using tape diagrams, by using equations, making sure that you have plenty of room and you just are logically listing out what you know about all the information so that you can eventually come down and find the answer that they are seeking. And so it's 300 packages of dog food is what we were seeking in this problem. Okay? So don't be overwhelmed. Remember the 3 reads strategy. That's really helpful. Read 1 is figuring out what the story is about. Read 2 is identifying the quantities. And read 3 is looking for what they're looking for. And then just laying it out and solving. Okay? All right, kiddos. That's all I have for you in this lesson. Talk to you soon. Bye.